Hey, what's up everyone? This is Minnesota Mike back with you for another video. This is another one in my vlog series that I do through the Memphis Songwriters Association in conjunction with the blog that I write for them, talking all about songwriting and what has worked for various artists over the course of a handful of years, whether those songs have been hits or not. So this latest kick that I'm on is called It's About Time, and these are all songs that use times in the title. Thus far, we have looked at 25 or 6 to 4 by Chicago, 3:59 a.m. by John Moreland. We this week looked at 5:19 by Matt Wirtz, and we are going to close out our initial discussion by chatting about Midnight Train to Georgia by Gladys Knight and the Pips. So, lyrically, Midnight Train to Georgia, it was written by Jim Weatherly and was originally called Midnight Plane to Houston. The revision process saw a change from a midnight plane to a midnight train, and the plane was going to Houston, but thanks to a record producer named Sonny Limbo, the title changed to Midnight Train to Georgia. Weatherly gave him permission to do so, with Limbo being from Atlanta, but said that he couldn't change anything about the rest of the song. I can't say for sure, but it's entirely possible that Journey's Midnight Train Going Anywhere wouldn't have been a thought in Steve Perry's mind had it not been for that revision. As for the rest of it, it's a lyrically gorgeous song, and I'm glad Jim didn't compromise his artistic integrity too much. The song tells the tale of a man who tried to make it out in Los Angeles, but it proved too much for the man. The depth of the story comes from the sympathy of the narrator, who has an emotional connection to the failed actor, declaring at the end of the chorus, "I'd rather live in his world than live without him in mine." The emotional connection, of course, is that he left her in order to be an actor in LA, and when it didn't work out, she was excited that he was coming back to her and that she'd be able to meet him on that train. What's fascinating about this song, in addition to the lead vocals, are the background vocals of the Pips. Sometimes background vocals are just oohs and ahs or harmonies with what's already being sung. But in this particular song, they add so much to what's already being said, such as "and when he takes that ride, guess who's gonna be by his side," as well as the call and response in the second verse, "a superstar, but he didn't get far." Of course, there are just some flat-out fun vocals too, such as when the Pips sing "woo woo" at certain points throughout the chorus. The ending also contains one of my favorite bits of riffing, with Gladys repeating I got to go," as the song fades. It's so iconic that when a kid in my class was goofing off and then insisted they had to go to the bathroom by repeating the phrase, "I got to go," I looked at them and said, "Thank you, Gladys Knight, now sit down." Structurally, the song uses a verse, chorus, chorus ending format. I've talked extensively about story songs and example songs, and I would definitely classify this as a story song, but it's very simply put. It's a very simple story. There's no long backstory in the first verse about how he left her to be an actor. There's no mention of how the two of them will be, how they ended up, or what they will do when they get on that train, what they did when they got on that train. It's simply just stating her mission of getting back to him. And to me, that makes the song all the more powerful. When you think of a midnight train, there's an automatic visual of desperation, and when you hear "I'd rather live in his world than live without him in mine," you know step one is just to be near him again. So the third verse, isn't necessary, and this ending hits us one more time with how lonely she is without him. It's so simple, like I said, but the layered vocals give it a kick, and that just makes it all the more powerful. Melodically, the song is written in D flat major and follows a D flat, E flat minor 7, G flat, and A flat pattern. That gets played 4 times at the start of the song. It is a 1-3-4-5 pattern. The 4th time around, the D chord, the tonic, gets thrown in before the G, and a G7 gets played after the G. The same pattern gets followed in the chorus, but the second time she sings Midnight Train to Georgia, that part in the chorus, she switches from a C on the word Georgia to an A minor. The ending goes back to the C, E minor, F, G, E minor 7, I should say, F and G pattern, and that gets played 9 times. Instrumentally, saxophone, piano, and organ dominate the recording. In closing, I want to give one final shout out to the Pips for their work on this recording. I can't remember when I first heard the song, but my dad made sure that I knew every single one of the background vocals. And although those tight harmonies were very important in the Motown sound as a whole, this recording always stuck out to me growing up. I was recently at a show where this was performed, and I was the only one in the crowd who knew the woo woo part and where it came in, other than the band, obviously. But the Pips were also featured in a Geico ad a few years ago to showcase their vocals, and that's just how iconic they are. So you can listen to Midnight Train to Georgia. It is linked in the description of this video. However, also linked in the description of this video are some outtakes, songs that didn't quite make the cut for this blog and this vlog kick, but obviously were considered. And so these are all songs that have times in the title that are still absolutely fabulous. So give those a listen too, because there are a lot of things that you can do with those times, and the songs that I picked out still might have missed some, but like I said, good to get at least some of them in there, because there are a lot of good ones out there, like I said. So I'm Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much for checking out this particular vlog. Make sure you go check out all my other vlogs and all my blogs on the Memphis Songwriters Association website. Like I said, I'm Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much.